hoodie, and he's like big body.
It can't see you.
Huh?
It can't see you.
I know.
Oh, I thought you were waving to the camera. I was like,
But if you want me to,
I can see you now.
I see you at the moon.
Wait, Jacob Lozano's hoodie?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize that.
What do you think? Another Jacob is gonna be big body? Have you seen how small the other Jacobs are?
Yeah.
And then there's
That's
big
why I was
body Jacob-
confused. I was like,
And then there's big body Jacob lasagna.
lasagna. You said lasagna? Give me your hoodie.
That's literally what I said.
Really?
I was like, yo, Jacob lasagna, give me your hoodie. I'm kind of cold.
And he said, did he just say, okay.
He
Here.
said okay, and then he took off his hoodie and threw it at me.
Harsh.
Don't think of it like that way, because he's only my best friend ever. For like ever.
My best friend ever lives in LA. But I'm gonna see him in December.
I'm waiting until this thing fills up because I need to cover photos, and she said to take photos of the
Mrs.
veteran
Hills?
winners. Yeah. The team whose photos this is for, their second assembly.
Oh.
So I'm taking pictures for the first. I'm supposed to picture. You know what? Feel my bun. Feel my bun.
Sturdy.
And cold. What a great combination. Like star. 10 out of 10. No, wow. Can you do the wave like I can? This is so cool. I've never covered one of these. Last year during the veteran assembly, I was still in theater, dating this one guy who was an 8th grader, and I was a 7.
I don't think I dated an 8th grader last year. over them.
Who's watching?
A lot of people. People on Cam's TV. This is Cam's TV's live stream.
Last year, I was right there, where the Sevies were.
I don't even remember. Oh, I was on that side.
I was on this side, and I remember because I was standing right next to the girl, and she was like crying. Thomas? Melanie didn't tell me anything about it though.
And move the camera like this. Huh? But it's on live, so.
Like, I'm wearing an oversized hoodie with an oversized jersey.
I feel like a person with a shirt and pants on. I have sweats with lines in the back. Oh, people are so fancy.
What if you invited my dad, but he didn't want to come?
Who?
My dad.
Oh, my uncle's a veteran, but my freaking cousin didn't want to ask him, so I was like, okay.
My dad is, he brought in my dad.
I like, it's literally live streaming and we're talking and you can hear us.
He was fighting while I was being hurt.
If this dude doesn't leave.
Whose phone
It's
is
like
that?
it's like so clear, but like you can like they're so tiny.
Whose phone is that?
McNeil's. Look, I have the case right here.
Wow.
I know, right? I love it.
kind of censored it a little bit more. So that
Thank you.
Maybe pull it up a little bit more so that they could see more of the assembly and not the floor.
Amazing. Boom.
I see you at the movie.
Good morning. Today's a wonderful day.
All right. Put the lens.
Go up and take a kneel and take a closer shot and ask Mrs. Hasselback to stand in front of it. Oh, that's wobbly, so stand down there.
So go up there and
Go in the middle of the row and take a picture. Like
Okay.
kneel and take a picture. You can, okay, listen, all this space is free for you to go take a picture.
Country. So welcome everybody. I would like to introduce the Albion Band under the direction of Mr. Capan, our band director. Playing America the Beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Capan. Good morning, everyone, and welcome, special guests. Thank you for being here today. Mrs. Hasselback and I would like to start our assembly today with an excerpt of the Presidential Veterans Day Proclamation.
The United States is a beacon of hope, freedom, and opportunity to people around the world. The soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen who fight to defend our liberty embody courage, patriotism, and loyalty. These patriots safeguard the values that keep our great nation strong. Throughout our nation's history, our military men and women have boldly answered the call of duty to defend our nation's independence and precious liberties, risking life and limb for their fellow Americans. Earlier this year, we commemorated the 75th anniversary of D-Day, when thousands of American heroes charged through a hail of machine gun fire and left their gallant mark on the pages of history. The courage of our men and women who served and fought during that war freed the world from the shroud of tyranny and ended the oppression of millions across the globe. Each warrior who fights for our nation, along with their families, has earned our eternal gratitude. and I ask that all Americans thank and support them. Together, we remain committed to fostering a national community of support for these brave heroes and their families.
Can we welcome our special guest today, Albiani? Can we welcome him? Special guest today, you help us teach our school why we get off on Monday. It's not just another day we get off from school, it's a very special day. It's a special day to celebrate the America's veteran for keeping the nation, the land of the free, and the home of the brave. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please stand for the presentation of colors by Valley High School Air Force Junior, or OTC, under the direction of Colonel Linster, and the national anthem will be played by Albiani's band and signed by Albiani's American Sign Language Club.
Hello, up, forward, off. Forward, off. Post. Ready, cut! Forward, off! Forward, off! Forward, halt! All out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Thank you, Valley High School, Air Force Junior, Now I'd like to ask Katie to come on up to the podium.
Good morning, Albiani students, staff, and special guests. I have a question for you today. How many of you have a parent who is currently serving in the military? Can you please stand? You may be seated. How many of you have a friend of your family who has served in the military? Can you please stand? You may be seated. How many of you have a parent or grandparent who has served in the military? Can you please stand? You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there are many of us who are connected to the military in some way, family or close friends. I too have a family member who has served. My dad, Gary Winnick, served in the Army and Air Force National Guard. He reached the rank of major in his 13-year career. He was a judge advocate general and was awarded the Meritorious Service Medal, Air Force Commendation Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, and State Medal of Merit, among others. Although my dad occasionally had to miss weekends and special events, I am proud to say he served our country. He is an amazing role model to all of us because of the sacrifices he has made to keep our country safe. It is a privilege and honor to introduce my dad to my adopted family. Will you please stand, Dad, so we can honor you for your service? I would now like to invite Tanner Hamlin to introduce his 6th grade teacher and why she is here with us today.
Good morning, students, staff, and special guests. In my recent years, I attended Masunas River Elementary School, and during my 6th grade year, I had the privilege of having Miss Dinelli as my teacher. During that year, I learned that Miss Dinelli had a brother who served our country in the military. I would like to invite her now to come share his legacy with all of you. Please give a warm Albiani welcome to Miss Dinelli.
I can tell you, I received an email from Tanner asking me to come speak to everyone here today. I'm beyond blessed and honored to be able to do this. So thank you, Tanner, as well as Maya Pekatich, for reaching out and asking me to come, and Donna McNeil for also inviting me. To stand here is a little scary, but also an honor because I get to talk about someone who I love dearly, and it was my brother. My brother, Sergeant First Class Riley Hall, was killed on April 10, 2009, alongside 4 of his men. He served this country with pride and courage, and he did it with a smile on his face because he, deep down, loved his job. He loved knowing that he was an Army Ranger. He knew he was doing a job that was serving and protecting us here so that we can be free, so that we can be safe. Can I have, if you look up on the board, you have pictures of Brian. There's a part of me where I look at these photos and I'm very prideful. I have done this for 10 years talking about him, so I've gotten pretty good about not crying, but sometimes when I read at those photos, I'm reminded of the fact that when men and women go overseas to serve, the families are left behind. They're here hoping to keep the memory alive of their loved ones, hoping to do right by their name. And being here today, I know that Brian is looking down and he's proud not only of my beautiful parents that are here today, but also that I'm standing in front of incredible students who will one day serve this great nation and hopes to keep us safe from years on. The next slideshow that I have is something I'm very, very proud of. When Brian was killed, I knew that I needed to keep his legacy alive. I needed to make sure that my students knew who he was and knew what he stood for. And so when I created this wall, if you look onto the left side, the soldiers on the left side of the word courage are those who died defending our freedom. The family members to the right are all of my students and their family members, whether it be parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings. They take pride in that wall because that is their family members. And over the last 8 years that I've put this up, it has grown to pretty much all of my classroom. But what's neat about it is it hangs underneath my flag, to which we say the pledge every single morning. And those faces that they see are the reason why we're able to stand and be in this room and to have this beautiful assembly is because there are people willing to serve and to protect our freedom. The next slide, after my brother was killed, I knew I needed to find a purpose, not only for myself, but for my parents. No family member should ever have to, no parent should ever have to bury their child. And when that happens, as a single child now, I knew I needed to make a difference, not only for them, but I needed to make a difference for the people who walked into my classroom, who knew of Brian, his friends, and all of our extended family. So we started a nonprofit called Walk to Remember. And it raised funds for my niece. She was 2 when my brother died. And it also sets up scholarships at Oakwood High School because some of his college where he attended. And through this event, it originally started to honor not just Brian, but the four men that passed away with him, but it also wanted to give back to those who served. To every person who wore the uniform, to every man and woman who wears the World War II, the Vietnam, the Desert Storm hats, I wanted to make sure that we all, young children, middle-aged, and older, were able to have an opportunity to come together and to walk in a mission, and that's to honor those who served. And about my fourth year of the walk, a man came up to me after I spoke. I was very emotional, and he told me a quote that resonated with me that I want to share with you today. And he said that a soldier dies twice: the day he takes his last breath, and the day his name is no longer spoken of. It is my mission that my brother will never die twice. The last quote is something that we put on our website. I wanted to share it with you today because I think it resonates with me, and it should resonate with all of you that are here today. It says, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We did not pass it to our children in our bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed down on for them to do the same." If I can ask, if you are a student of mine or you attended Crest, will you please stand? These incredible faces that you see are students who spent an entire year with me, creating care packages, writing thank you cards, raising money for packages for soldiers overseas. And I am blessed and honored to say that you were in my room and that these kids are a great resource. If you ever want to do more or give more, I would definitely go to these kids that are standing up today. I would like to give my class, my students, a round of applause for just being with me and helping me today. And as I sit down, I wanted to pose a challenge. I say this to my kids every year, but I think it's great for adults as well to hear. Veterans Day is one day a year. There are 365 days that we have an opportunity to create change and to honor those who serve. So I'm challenging today, adults and children, don't wait until that one day that we can honor a veteran. It should be every single day. If you see a man in uniform or a female in uniform, if you see someone wearing a military hat, there are 5 words that you can say to make them feel great. And that is thank you for your service. That will go a long way, especially coming from a young child who has not been impacted by war. They have lived it, and we as children that are sitting in these crowds and in these stands, you have an opportunity to give back and to thank them, not just Monday, but every single day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Dinelli. We stand here today with you and honor your brother, who has made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Just know you are now our Gold Star family. And we would like to honor Brian's parents. Will you please stand today, Mr. and Mrs. Hall? Thank you for being here. Now I would like to welcome some more leadership students to talk to you.
Thank you, Ms. McNeil, and thank you, Ms. Dinelli. Fellow students, you may be sitting here thinking, what is a veteran and why do we have this holiday on the 11th month and the 11th day every year? Why do we get to stay home from school on November 11th every year? Well, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, 101 years ago, an armistice was declared between the Allied nations and Germany in the First World War, then known as the Great War. The signing of the World War I armistice took place in a railway coach near the battle zone in France. The bugles sounded ceasefire and the hostilities ended, marking its most significant moment in world history.
Commemorated as Armistice Day, beginning of the following year, November 11th became a legal federal holiday in the United States in 1938. In the aftermath of World War II and the Korean War, Armistice Day became Veterans Day, a holiday dedicated to American veterans of all wars. Today we dedicate this summer to you, our heroes. We salute you and honor you for your service, but we also want to remember those who cannot be able today, remembering them to be able to the ultimate sacrifice. We also want to acknowledge and thank the families of our soldiers.
Today with us, we have a very special guest who's a Gold Star mom. This week in our advocacy lesson, we learned what that meant. Here's Ms. McNeil and our special guest, Diane Lakefield.
So many of you 8th graders met Miss Layfield last year. We adopted her as our Gold Star mom. So let me just tell you a little bit. It's my honor to stand with Diane here. She is our Gold Star mom. She is mother of U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Travis J. Layfield of Fremont, California. He was assigned to 2nd Battalion, 4th Marine, and with Echo Company. Travis was based in San Diego, California, and Camp Pendleton. For those of you who are not familiar with what a Gold Star mom is, students, do you know what a Gold Star mom is? Can you raise your hand? They know who you are. They know who our families are, yes. If you don't, it is when your son or daughter or family member dies while in action serving our country. We also want to recognize our Gold Star families today, and we will do that in just a little bit. But we would like for you to share your story about Travis and how you carry on his legacy, and then we would like to honor you and Travis today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, first of all, to Albione staff and students for allowing me to come back again this year. It's very much a privilege to be here in your honor. Yes, unfortunately, in the military there are 3 significant stars. The first one is a blue star, which means your parent or loved one are serving in the service. The second one is a silver star, which means your loved one was wounded in a conflict. And unfortunately, a gold star is the last one, and unfortunately I became a Gold Star mom on April the 6th, 2004. I couldn't be prouder of my son. He wanted to serve his country and always helped people the best he could. All through school, he was a very giving young man. He loved sports, as all of you do. He played baseball, he played football. He always wanted to be on the honor roll, but never quite made it because sometimes the social life got a little bit in his way. But now I tell people he is on the American Heroes Honor Roll, and he will be there forever. Travis, unfortunately, on the day that he was killed, he was in Ramadi, Iraq, had only been over there about 3 weeks, and there was a big event that some Army soldiers were pinned down in a graveyard at the end of a town that Travis the day before had been giving candy to the children, trying to make friends, letting them know that they were there to keep them safe as well. And the next morning, this Army platoon was actually pinned down in a graveyard at the end of the town, and my son actually volunteered that morning to go out on a mission to help the Army soldiers with this conflict. And unfortunately, we lost 10 Marines and a Navy corpsman on that day. Travis will always be remembered and never forgotten, and I'm honored that you all are playing a big part in that. Your Veterans Day ceremony is incredible. I've tried to instill it in our school. I work for an elementary school, and we have 5th and 6th graders that have history, and I've tried for 2 years to instill this in our school, but no luck yet. I'm not giving up yet, because our veterans should be absolutely honored every day of the year. 2 years after Travis was killed, we found out that he had a son, and Travis never got to know his son, never knew he had a son. But Dylan now is in our lives and has been for the last 15 years. He graduates next year. He moved to Washington State, and he'll graduate actually in June. And so this weekend, I am going to the Bay Area because they are doing the first scholarship for Travis, and his name is called Cost of Courage. It's a nonprofit organization, and they are honoring my son, and Dylan, his son, will be the first recipient of this scholarship. So again, Travis's legacy lives on, and I'm very honored to be here. Thank you to the Albione, Mr. and Mrs. Albione, for having me, and to the school and staff. And God bless our veterans. Thank you.
So we would like the Hall family to come join us and Ms. Dinelli to come join us up here. We would like to present to you some flowers of appreciation. And again, like Ms. Dinelli said, families are the ones also that, come on up here, families are the also that make the sacrifice for our freedom. So we want to adopt you and just say thank you for helping teach us what it means to appreciate, to be an American, and thank you for being our adopted families, and hopefully you'll come back every year. Can we thank and honor our Gold Star families tonight? Last year, I was going to meet Ms. Freeman for lunch at Chick-fil-A or something like that, and I went into Michael's and she had a camouflage hat and this cute little dog, and he had a camouflage vest on. I'm like, "Are you a veteran?" And she's like, "No," and I said, "Okay, well, your dog's really cute," and I love her little dog. And this was a conversation. I was like, she's like, "No, I'm a Gold Star mom." And I said, "I know what a Gold Star mom is." And I was like, "Will you please come to our assembly?" And so now we keep in touch, and it's just amazing how paths cross. So, see, students, I was not afraid to reach out and say, "Are you a veteran?" And look what happened. Now she gets to teach all of you what it means. So thank you for being here today.
Albiani students, TAPS is a bugle call played at dusk, during flag ceremonies and at military funerals by the United States Armed Forces. The importance of this iconic bugle call cannot be argued. We've all heard it. The 24 notes of TAPS is probably known as the most recognizable and emotionally charged music ever played on a bugle. All the way back to the Civil War, historians say TAPS served as a vital component in ceremonies honoring military who have made the ultimate sacrifice. I would like to invite the Albiani Middle School band to play TAPS for us today. Albiani students and special guests, will you please stand respectfully and join me in a moment of silence as we honor all of our Gold Star families who have given the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom.
Thank you, and you may be seated. I would now like to welcome leadership students to the podium, and we will now pay tribute to those heroes that have served our country, beginning with World War I.
Loved ones who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. We remember them. You, our special guests that are with us today, served with these heroes and you called them comrades. You depended upon them, their might and aid, and relied upon them. Alongside you, we do not forget them. We remember them too. It was called World War I, the war to end all wars. It ranged from 1914 to 1918. Many sacrificed their lives so that we could have our freedom. American men and women served heroically until the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, when it finally came to an end. We salute and honor the memory of those World War I veterans. That's right, Cassie. But unfortunately, the war to end all wars didn't. Once again, soldiers were called to defend those who could not defend themselves. World War II raged on from 1941 to 1945 and was the deadliest conflict in the history of the world. Today we salute those veterans from World War II. In the past we have had a few in our assembly, and we know we have one special World War II veteran here with us today. Do we have any of you veterans with us today in our assembly who fought in World War II? Please stand. Please join me in honor.
That American soldiers would be called up again. This time is what has become known as the Korean War. Do we have any of these veterans here with us today in our assembly who fought in the Korean War? Please stand so we can honor you.
And then there was Vietnam. We salute the brave veterans who bore the weight of unimaginable conditions, both at war and on returning home. It is never too late to say thank you. So on this Veterans Day, we humbly say, thank you. Do we have any of these veterans here with us today in our assembly who fought in Vietnam? Please stand so we can honor you.
Our soldiers bravely served. In Kuwait and Bosnia, you honored us with your brave service. In places with names we've rarely heard, our veterans heard the call and sacrificed for all. Our soldiers helping here at home and around our globe in times of crisis such as hurricanes, earthquakes, fires, and natural disasters where humans need help. Our soldiers do not hesitate. They answer the call. When you have served in any of these places we have mentioned, or places around the world, will you please stand so we can recognize and honor you today?
Freedom for all. Lasting peace and resounding freedom begins in the hearts and minds of all of us. For those who continue to serve when they are called out to help in times of need,
Our National Guard members are there, and we say, we have not forgotten you.
For those who have served and come home, we again say thank you and welcome. Welcome home. Whether you served in the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, or currently serving in the National Guard, we are forever grateful for what you have sacrificed for us. Your hard work is never forgotten. For presenting to our veterans with a gift of appreciation. Please welcome Nick Dorvich for our next portion of the program.
If you have served the United States Army, please stand. You may be seated. If you have served with the United States Navy, please stand. If you have served with the United States Air Force, please stand. If you have served with the United States Marine Corps, please stand. Thank you. If you have served with the United States Coast Guard, please stand. Thank you again for your service and the honor you today. You will never forget what you've done for our nation and what you continue to do.
At this time, I would like to invite Carson Goodell to come to the podium.
My great-grandfather, U.S. Navy veteran Donald G. Good. Can you please join me here at the podium? He is also the grandfather of Albiani staff member Miss Shannon Goodell. My great-grandfather served in the United States Navy during World War II. He enlisted in the Navy on July 3, 1943. Most of his service was spent on the USS Barents. Thank you, Grandpa, for being here today, and I'm proud to be your great-grandfather. Can you please join me in thanking my great-grandfather for his service?
I'm so proud of my family and our few kids here. I hope you'll remember this day because it's a great honor, and I can't express how happy I am to see all you people here together celebrating this event.
Well, do you remember last year you promised me something at the last year's assembly? 8th graders, do you remember what he promised me at the assembly last year? Carson, what did he promise me at the assembly last year? That he would play the drums. So, How many of you want to hear Mr. Booth? Over here, and even has World War II veteran emblem on the drum that we have for you. Well, we have a whole band for you, so they can, but we want to hear the drum solo, so, right? Everybody want to hear the drum solo? All right. So we're going to get them seated here. Is there any special song you want to play for us? You want to sit on this or this? You want to sit on this? Okay. All right, we're going to let them get set up here. So, what's your birthday?
April 27,
27.
1925. Figure that one out.
All right, do you remember? Your math teachers are in the next assembly, so if that's okay. You have an answer for me over here. He says 94. Is that correct? 94 years old. All right, Mr. Catan's going to help him here. All right. Is there a special song you're going to play for me? Anchors Away. Of course. Of course, Anchors Away. Oh, okay.
Okay.
We do have our military, if you want to play that, he can play along with you. If you guys want to do that song. Okay, we're going to play, what is this song, Mr. Capan? Armed Forces on Parade, here we go. You just hop in when you're ready. Oh, it ends with the Navy. All right, perfect. We planned this. Go ahead, hit it, band. Super excited. So yes, we are live on YouTube. So
it's right here.
Be with us today can see this. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your service. Yes, I know you want to say one more thing.
My great honor. Thank you.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that, but we are. Avery, if you come up to the podium.
Go ahead and put a seat. Good morning, I'll be honored to special guests. My name is Amy Grant. If you've ever been to Washington, D.C., you will see many memorials honoring our freedom. At the Korean War Veterans Memorial, you can find a granite wall with the phrase "Freedom is not free." Freedom is paid for by these veterans that are here with us today. Freedom is continuing to be protected by our family members who are currently deployed and serving in the United States military. No other country in the world allows the freedom we offer for granted. I'll be honest with you. If you value your freedom, then I ask you today to please let a veteran know that you are appreciative of their service. If you have a family member who is currently deployed and serving in the military, please stand. We want to recognize you and your family's sacrifice, and please know I'll do anything that we appreciate you.
Thank you. Go ahead and continue standing. Students, these are your peers that their family members are deployed right now defending our freedoms. And we want to say we're your Falcon family and we are here for you. Again, can we thank these families for their service?
Thank you. You may be seated. Veterans and family members of veterans, we honor you and thank you for being here with us today. Today is Albioni's way of saying thank you for your service. We have several Albioni staff members who are with us today who have served in the military, and one who has a son who went to Albioni and who served in the military. Here's our principal, Ms. Bahar, to recognize them.
Good morning, students, staff, and our special guests. It's my privilege to acknowledge those staff members who have served in the military and are now serving our students here at Albion. Staff members, please stand when I call your name so we can acknowledge you, and then I'll read a little bit about you, and then you'll know how honored we are that you're a member of our staff. Sergeant E. 5 Timothy Prim. Mr. Prim, are you in this first assembly? Second assembly. Well, here's a little bit about Mr. Prim. U.S. Marine Corps from August 2nd, 1976 to April 4th, 1980. He was a data entry operator and he completed boot camp at Harris Island, South Carolina, and spent a year in Iwakuni, Japan. Thank you for teaching American history to our Albioni students, and thank you to Mr. Prim for his service. Bill Bowles. Those of you that have ever walked to school or driven by the crosswalk for that matter, you have seen this gentleman that is our crossing guard near Bond and a Pleasant Grove School Loop Road. Mr. Bowles, thank you for your service. Served in the United States Army and the 98th Army Band at Fort Rucker, Alabama, from June 15, 1965 until June 14, 1968. He spent 1.5 years in the 98th Army Band at Fort Rucker, which is the aviation center for the U.S. Army, where all Army pilots are trained. In 1966, Mr. Bowles decided to attend air traffic controller school at Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi. Upon completion of the school, he returned to Fort Rucker. His assignment there was Hanshu Army Heliport and its sub-heliport, Knox Army Heliport. During the Vietnam War, Mr. Bowles worked in an air traffic control area where they handled more takeoffs and landings than any other airport in the free world, including New York and Chicago. Mr. Bowles spent his entire service time at Fort Rucker except basic training at Fort Ord, California, and air traffic control school at Keesler Air Force Base. Mr. Bowles separated from the Army in June 1968 with the rank of Specialist E5, which is the same as Buck Sergeant. He now serves as the District 6 Commander for the American Legion, the world's largest wartime veterans organization. District 6 covers Yolo and Sacramento counties. Again, Mr. Bowles, thank you for your service and for your continued service to our students. National Corps, deployed to Camp Baka, Iraq, 2004-2005. Mr. Gustafson is a math teacher here at FAMS. Mr. Gustafson, we acknowledge you and we'd like to honor you. Thank you for your service. Mr. Floyd is here in this first assembly. Mr. Richard Floyd is a member of our social science department here in Albion. He served in the United States Navy, second class petty officer E5. He was an information systems technician from February 2001 to September 2004 and served on board the USS Harry S. Truman. Mr. Floyd, thank you for your service. I'm also not sure if this staff member is in this assembly or not, but Sergeant Juan Garcia, are you here, Mr. Garcia? Okay, Mr. Garcia is on our custodial staff that serves at both Albiani and Pleasant Grove. He served as an E5 Buckthorpe engineers and again on the custodial staff here, so we know we can count on him. We thank you for your service, Mr. Garcia. Mr. Ronald Flint, one of our campus supervisors. Is retired Sergeant First Class in the U.S. Army. He served for 22 years after basic training and advanced training for military police at Fort McClellan, Alabama. In 1983, he was stationed at Kriegspiel Army Depot in Germany and Fort Hamilton at Brooklyn, New York. After separation from active duty in 1986, he joined the Army Reserves until his retirement in 2005. During his years of service, he held 3 primary jobs: military police office, drill instructor, and career counselor. His job as a career counselor was his favorite, as it gave him the opportunity to give guidance to young soldiers to make the Army Reserves a career. Mr. Flint, thank you for your service. This next staff member is also in the second assembly, and most of our teachers know him and can rely on him. Lamont Kelsey is our technical support here at Albioni. He's a retired Master Sergeant from the United States Air Force, serving 21 years, entering in May of 1973 and retiring in November of 1994. Thank you, Mr. Kelsey. We would also like to acknowledge Mr. Gil Albiani. Mr. Albiani is the husband of Ms. Kay Albiani, for whom our school is named. Mr. Albiani is a retired major in the Army National Guard, Medical Service Corps member. Thank you, Mr. Albiani, for your service, and thank you for your service to our community and to our school. And a special thank you to Ms. Kay Albiani for being with us today. You are always here to support us in everything that we do, and we appreciate it. Thank you. As was stated earlier, one of our staff members not here in this assembly who has a son currently serving in the United States Marines, former Albiani student, Shannon Richardson. Her son Matthew Richardson is currently serving in the Marines. Microphone to share with us the history of the Red Caucus.
Thank you, Ms. Bahar. On behalf of our student body here at Albion, we would like to thank all of our military families and veterans who are with us today. We also want you to know that we join with you today to remember those who lost their lives so we could have the freedoms we have today. We would like to express our gratitude to all of you and your families.
For special guests who have joined us today, thank you for your military service. You know that November 11th is a day that Americans have chosen to honor our military veterans. We stand with you today and say we will never forget your sacrifices.
One thing that we have learned about Veterans Day is the history of the red poppy and why it is given to veterans. In World War I, 101 years ago, on the battlefields of Belgium, poppies grew wild across the landscape. You may wonder, how could such a pretty flower grow wild while surrounded by such death and destruction? Well, we did some research and found that the overturned soil of the battlefield enabled the poppy seeds to be covered, then allowing them to grow and forever serve as a reminder of the bloodshed during World War I and future wars.
The red poppy serves as a reminder of the past sacrifices and continuing needs of our veterans. We would like to share with you the following poem in Flanders Fields by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae. In honor of all the men and women who have served, died, and sacrificed for our freedoms, please direct your attention to the screen and to the risers behind us as we present In Flanders Fields by Catherine Albiani Middle School Theater Company under the direction of Miss Michelle Camp.
Please know that we will never forget your sacrifice. Please accept these paper poppies that we've made for you as a token of our appreciation for all that you have done, for us, our country, and for our world.
Here at Catherine Albiani Middle School, this year we are committed to promoting a safe learning environment, being respectful to all our peers and staff, being responsible to make the right choices, and being our best. The veterans that are here today are the ultimate example of those striving to be their best. You are heroes, and because of your sacrifice, we have the freedom to learn in this beautiful facility.
You truly make a difference every day in our lives, and the Albiani students and staff say thank you, and we honor you here today.
We also would like to tell our students and special guests about an opportunity you will have at lunch today. Students, you will have a chance to meet Mrs. Dinelli on the stage. She will have a table where you can stop to ask her questions about her brother and how she continues to honor his life. You can also stop by the table near the MP stage that will have a box full of tiny soldiers. These tiny soldiers are available for students to take home and put in a special place so that every time you see it, it will remind you to never forget the sacrifices all military service men and women made so that we have the freedoms that we do. Also, you will see that many of us are wearing red today. RED is an acronym that stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. Red Friday was created to remind people of our heroes overseas and show that we are thinking of them. People across the country wear red every Friday to serve as a reminder and spread the message of how important it is that we keep our troops in our thoughts. Now I would like to welcome Ms. McNeil back to the podium to introduce our Blue Star Moms and how we're continuing our partnership with them.
That's right. We are continuing to partner with Blue Star Moms, so we will never forget our men and women who are deployed. So at this time, for the past 9 years, you guys, Albiani has partnered. So at this time, I'd like to welcome our Blue Star Moms, Pleasant Grove High School representatives, and our Albiani representatives from Ms. Werner's class to all come up and join me at the podium. So can we thank our Blue Star Moms for being here today? So we have Debbie and Dana here. That's Evie, Donna, Debbie, Dana. And we have our Biomedical Academy, and they would like to make a presentation to you, and also one of our advocacy classes here. So here we go.
Hi, my name is Victoria.
Hi, my name is Bobby.
We had the pleasure to coordinate the donation drive. Messa, Abbott, and UCAM today to collect over 200 pounds of goods to donate to the Blue Star Moms of South America.
We'd like to thank Blue Star Moms for this amazing opportunity to help our servicemen and women overseas. We look forward to working with UCAM and Blue Star Moms for the years to come. We would also like to present Blue Star Moms with these cards to give to the students.
Here's Ms. Werner's class, you have that, it's kind of heavy, to talk about, if you guys can come to the podium, you can talk about all these cards and what we did here at camp.
To our Blue Star Moms, not only do you provide support for active duty service personnel, promote patriotism, and assist veteran organizations, you will help our country remain strong during tough times. On behalf of Kansas Middle School, we would like to present over 2,000 cards and a truckload of goodies to help you make each soldier feel special and never forgotten. Here at Kansas, we're all about being our best. Thank you for delivering our best wishes to our servicemen and women that won't be home for the holidays. Thank you.
We also have some roses for our Blue Star Moms, if leadership can help get those. And I have a bunch of other cards that wouldn't fit in that basket, so we'll make sure we get those to you. So they're going to be packed in baskets, boxes. Can you say a little bit about that real quick?
Sure. We have a packing party tomorrow. We are based for Sacramento, but we're based in Roseville. So if you're available tomorrow, 9 a.m., we're at the Roseville Veterans Memorial Hall. We're going to package full over 400 care packages to go out so that our service members get them before Christmas.
Thanks again for being with us. Can we thank our Blue Star Moms for all their And we have a good friend of ours to talk about today to encourage us to keep supporting our veterans. Can I welcome Kevin Bracey? Everybody knows this guy.
You know, I get an opportunity to speak almost every day of my life. But every time I'm invited, Mrs. Bahar, Mrs. McNeil, to come and speak at this particular assembly, I'm more nervous to speak today or at this assembly than any other assembly. And over the last 24 hours, I've been just thinking about, what's going to be my message and why are you so nervous and why can't you land on the message that you want to deliver? But last night as I was laying down and tossing and turning and trying to figure it out, there was a word that came up out of nowhere. And that word is reciprocity. To me, what that word means is if somebody gives you something, we as human beings automatically want to give them something back of equal or greater value. And it helped me realize why I'm always so nervous and afraid to speak at this assembly. Because how can I assemble words and give those words and deliver those words in a way that can be of equal or greater value of what these veterans have sacrificed for us? So as I woke up this morning, I just came to a realization. There's no way that I can do it. The words, thank you so much, it's not enough. The words, we appreciate you so much, is not enough. The words that we will never forget, it's not enough. But what can we do? A couple things. Number one, Mrs. Dinelli said it so eloquent. Every single time we're at a Walmart, Walgreens, Winco, Chevron, 7-Eleven, Starbucks, and we see a young man with a hat like Mr. Dude right here, or a young man in uniform, or a young woman in uniform, we can stop everything that we're doing and say those 5 words. Thank you for your service. The second thing we can do as I close is to make sure we purposefully and consciously, young people, live up to our potential and reach for our wildest dreams. Because these veterans and men and women in uniform have sacrificed for us to be able to dream and pursue and achieve whatever our minds can imagine. So yeah, it's not enough. But thank you so much. We appreciate you. We will never forget.
Thank you. And at this time, we'd like to thank everyone for being here today. And I would like to acknowledge our students. You are amazing. Your respect today, it's awesome. So thank you, teachers, students, for taking this and making this priority today. Albiani students, it's so encouraging to see you and know that you will continue to honor those who have sacrificed for your freedoms. Special guest, we hope you know that there's one middle school you can always come back to every year and be honored. But even beyond that, every day, Albiani Middle School appreciates what you do. As we leave today, we want to tell you that we have a reception today during lunchtime. These guys have to go back to class, but at 11:30 there's a lunch. We would love for you to join so we can honor you. You can talk amongst yourselves. There's coffee right now if you want to go back there and wait. You can see the reception. But thank you for being here. Students, you are invited if you have a special guest today to join them during your lunchtime. And again, can we all thank our veterans today for their service? Thank you for this side is going to go out the 2 side doors.